Hey there, my friends. I've spent a lot of time in bed today, mostly because pain and fatigue. There's this weird shadow. I don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, I've still managed to work. If you've been following my feed, I've still managed to crank out some pretty good stuff, as far as I can tell. And when I have particularly down days like this, I do a lot of reflecting, to check in with myself, make sure that things are headed in the direction I want them to be heading, or that I'm showing up the way I want to be showing up. And one theme that is consistent with the people that I follow and the people that I serve are self-doubt, insecurity, things like imposter syndrome. And people offer some very complicated responses to that conundrum, if you will, of how to overcome imposter syndrome. And I think the solution, at least the way I found the solution to it, is pretty simple, but not easy. And one thing to understand, a couple things to understand about what confidence is not. Confidence is not fake it till you make it, because it's the faking it that leads to this fear that you will be found out because you're not being authentic. It's like saying, you can't fake your way into being a surgeon. You have to have some education. You can't fake your way into being an airline pilot. It's going to be pretty obvious pretty quickly that you don't know what you're doing. It's that fear of being challenged in a situation where you won't be able to show up in the way that you are trying to convince others you are capable of showing up, and fear of falling flat on your face and being found out to be a fraud. So my recommendation to you is don't bother trying to show up in a way that's all about impressing others or getting them to see you in the way you want to be seen. That's not where confidence comes from. Confidence is not generated by external approval. Confidence comes from, and here's the thing you've been waiting for. Confidence comes from that inner peaceful knowing that your self-worth does not change regardless of the circumstances, whether it's been the biggest success of your life or the biggest failure. Whether you feel proud or disappointed, you know that the events do not determine your self-worth. You can be confident when you're having a lousy day, like I've had today. You can be confident when you're having the best day of your life. Because confidence simply means, and again, this is the way I approach it, confidence basically means I am certain that whatever's happening in my life, I can move through it, I can move beyond it, and I can become wiser because of it. And because of that wisdom, I can apply what I've learned to create better results. That's confidence. Confidence is about being a student, not being the expert, not being the one who doesn't need to be shown anything new, not the one who stands above everybody else and looks down at them and is always showering them with wisdom and they're the smartest kid in the room. That's not confidence, that's arrogance. Confidence is humble. Confidence is teachable. Confidence is believing in other people's abilities to be their best selves, and that they are worthy of that from you. Now, you hear stories about people who found their confidence even when people around them didn't believe in them. And usually what I find is it's not the case that nobody believed in them. What is typically the case is that the people they wanted to believe in them did not believe in them. And in my case, the people that really saved me from probably committing suicide when I was younger, I'm not joking about that, is the few people that saw that I was this confused little kid who clearly was different from his peers, didn't fit in well, but was just as deserving of love and attention as my peers were. And they were usually teachers or other professionals that took the time to see me one-on-one and nurture me. And because I had those people that believed in me, even though I wasn't the fastest kid, the smartest kid, I wasn't, the most popular kid by any stretch, but they saw that I still had value. And they had confidence in me. And I wish I kind of caught that sooner, that they saw me for who I was and I didn't need to be special to be worthy. And that's why it's so important to look at people that have differences and see that they are inherently worthy of believing in. They have inherent worth, and I need not put conditions on it. And that is something that's really essential for us to understand in order to find our own confidence, that it doesn't need to be conditional. Like, well, I'll feel more confident when I succeed. I'll feel more confident when I get the touchdown, make the big sale. When the pretty girl likes me, I'll be more confident. Well, if you're waiting around, again, for it to come externally, you're not going to find it. Confidence is an inside job. It's anchoring your perception of yourself and your inherent self-worth. And if you watch my videos enough, you'll be familiar with one of my closing comments, which is, no matter what's happening in your world, or no matter what's happening in your life, you're still good enough. And it's one thing to understand that intellectually. It's another thing to know it in your bones. It's when you reach it at that level that it's very difficult for things to shake you. Now, it's not to say they won't shake you. I had a nice ugly cry over the weekend because my confidence was shaken. I was feeling absolutely horrible. And when you are dysregulated, whether it's from something sensory or from incredible pain that can't be controlled, being dysregulated that badly can throw you off balance and make you begin to self-doubt, especially if it feels new to you. When you start making comments like, I've never hurt this much before in my life. I've never had this big a heartbreak. I've never been this disappointed. Well, that might be accurate. But one thing that you can believe is that you have the capacity, and this is based on past experience, you have the capacity to learn from the hard stuff, to gain the wisdom, and then to apply it. It's like Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. And that's what I'm talking about here. So my wife even asked me, I can't remember the specific exchange we had, but I was feeling miserable, I was feeling sad, and she asked me something to the effect of, do you think you're always going to feel this way? And I said, no, I don't want to feel this way, and I'm committed to getting through it. That's confidence. Confidence is knowing I can get through it. I had no idea how I was going to get through it, but I knew I was going to. I knew that I could, because I commit myself to being resourceful, resilient. I'm responsible for my journey and for sticking in there. That's what my confidence comes from. Now, I've thrown a lot at you. I don't want to overwhelm you with this stuff. But what I do want to emphasize is that if you are thinking to yourself, I can't do that, it's too hard, I'm afraid to feel my feelings, or whatever you do to frighten yourself, and yes, you frighten yourself. What you do to frighten yourself out of taking action is all of your imagination of what you believe is in store for you by doing the work. You're afraid you're going to be alone, you're not going to be supported, that you're going to be seen as weak. Well, maybe there are people around you that do see you that way. So don't do it in front of those people. Do it in front of my people. I've started a community quite some time ago where I bring all of my clients in a very judgment-free, compassionate, loving environment. You've seen them comment on my posts, so you know that I'm telling you the truth. And the kind of transformation that they experience, they go from guilt to liberation. They learn how to have compassion for themselves at such a deep level that they are loving to themselves and each other in their most human moments. And they're able to grow in their confidence in such a way that all the people that used to push their buttons in the past doesn't faze them anymore. It rolls off their shoulders because they don't take it personally, because they know it's not about them. And again, they don't just know it here, they feel it in their bones. Imagine living with that kind of inner peace because you're able to let go of that stuff. Now, you may be able to find it someplace else. I don't know. But I do know that you can find it in my inner circle. I've been helping people evolve in terms of their confidence for years. And the kind of impacts they're having on the people in their lives is so beautiful to watch. And don't you deserve to have that same kind of impact? Or would you rather just bide your time living in fear, hoping that you're not found out? At least have enough confidence in yourself to step into the arena with us and let us support you into discovering who you truly are and what you truly have to give. Because less than 24 hours from now, I'm raising the price in the community because the content I've been creating in there recently is so powerful. I would be shortchanging myself to undervalue it. So this is your time to get in if money is a consideration, because after today it's going to be harder. So send me a message and let me know that you're in, and we'll get you started. Until then, here's to your confidence, and remember, no matter what's going on in your life, you're good enough. Take care.